Hi guys, how's it going today? It is Saturday. It is the first Saturday in May, and for you that are in the gardening community, you know what that means. It is Naked Gardening Day. Unfortunately, I am not celebrating today, but for all of you that are, power to ya. Congratulations. I'm glad that you all are brave enough to do that and that you're out enjoying the day. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Kansas City. It's 70 degrees, it's sunny. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there are birds chirping and people mowing their grass, and it's just a gorgeous spring day here today. But we are out on the stoop for a change of scenery because it is so nice, and also just because I need to get out of my house. Thank you all for the nice messages that you sent me earlier this week when I wasn't feeling so well. I am on the mend, still getting back together with it. But I wanted to talk to you today about a question that I keep seeing come up on some of the forums that I'm a part of. So I keep seeing this question show up where people are asking, is it too soon to, or too late, I'm sorry, to start my seeds? Because now we're into May, and the answer is no. Especially if you are in one of the farther northern zones, and most especially if you are in one of those zones that still has snow. I'm still so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. It's gonna get there. You're gonna have spring soon. It is absolutely not too late to start your seeds if that's where you are right now. And what I wanted to do is also talk to you about a couple of things that have worked really well for me and give you a few more tips, because I know there's a lot of information out there about seed starting, but sometimes it just helps to have that kind of wrap up at the end of the season also to see what worked for you this year, what didn't work, and what would you change. And so I want to talk a little bit about what worked for me this year and what didn't and what I would change, because I tried a couple of new things this year and I want to be able to share that with you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is what did not work for me, because it's often really easy to just say, oh look, everything was so perfect and so pretty, and that's not the case at all. So I went ahead this year and I decided to try some of these biodegradable Jiffy pots, and I got two different kinds. I got the multi-seed seed cell trays, and then I got the just single little pots, 3-inch pots. And I will be honest, these were not successful for me this year. I ran into a lot of problems trying to keep them watered and consistently watered. They dry out really, really quickly. The other problem that I ran into was they mold really, really quickly. So I tried a couple of different things to try and combat that. I tried making sure that I had a fan to circulate to prevent the mold, but then that dried them out too quickly. So I tried making sure that there was just a thin layer of water for them to soak up from the bottom, and then they stayed too wet, and then there was still not, they still weren't consistently staying watered enough for the seeds to sprout. I did want to show you my fail. These are my marigolds. I tried to start marigolds in them and they didn't make it, and usually marigolds are pretty quick to come up and pretty easy, so I don't know what happened. They started to germinate really quickly, just like normal, and then it was just the watering issue didn't work out for them. So it was kind of sad. It was sad. The plants that I was able to save when I realized that they were starting to mold, I had to get them out of them very quickly to be able to save them, and I still had some that were lost just because it was too late. They weren't going to make it. So that's all I'm going to say about the Jiffy pots. But there's a couple other options if you are looking that are really economical and then also reusable depending on what you want to do, because these are also a one-time shot. You're only going to get to use these once, which is another reason why I'm not so much of a fan of them. But one thing that's really easy to do is you can get solo cups, and I just happen to have some clear ones. So this is a solo cup. This has a pepper in it. This is a Brazilian starfish pepper. And this little guy actually just got separated from his partner just this week actually, and this is going to show you exactly why you should separate your plants a little sooner, because this is how big his partner was, and yeah, you should probably pay a little closer attention and get them separated a little bit quicker than I did. But I mean, he's doing great. He's doing really great. And this is another type of seed starting thing that you can use. This is just a square pot, and they come in a giant tray that has quite a number of them. and it has a drip tray underneath of it. So I've got a bunch of these, and these are really successful for me. The only reason why I'm not as much of a fan of the little square pots versus the solo cups for things like peppers and tomatoes is because the amount of soil that you get in them. So this little guy is going to have to be transplanted a whole lot quicker than this guy will be, except for the fact that, you know, this guy had 2 in it versus this one. And normally it's okay to have 2 peppers together, but the problem with this particular one is that the bigger one came up so much quicker. He came up 10 days sooner than this guy did, and I just never got around to snipping this guy, and he just kept hanging on. So I said, okay, well, I guess I'll just have 2 Brazilian starfish peppers because he's really healthy and this one's really healthy. So I'm not going to say no to another pepper plant because I really like them. But the one thing I do like about the clear cups over the red solo cups or another colored cup, I don't know if you can see this, but if I get really close to the camera, you can see the roots in the container. I don't know if you can see that very well, you guys. I'm sorry, it's not focusing. There it goes, now it's focusing. So you can actually see the root structure in there and get a better idea of the health of your plant. And also, these tend to be a little bit cheaper at my grocery store to get a whole big package of the clear ones because they're a little smaller than the big solo ones, the big red solo ones. So it's personal preference on that. I like being able to see the root structure and know when they need to be repotted. So this little guy is going to get repotted really quickly, and it's getting to be about that time that they need to go in the ground anyway. Here probably, if not this weekend, the following weekend. I thought that they'd be in the ground by now, but we just had kind of a chilly spring, and we had a whole lot of rain this last week, and they would have drowned outside with that much rain. So it's just a matter of timing every spring. So the other thing, I wanted to give you a comparison on the little square pots too, since my marigolds failed. I did have success with the square pots here. So this one is Gaillardia, and it needs to go in a pot and be split out because it's got quite a few in there. And my intention is that all of these are gonna go into one big pot together. And then this is Portulassa. They've got a really delicate flower that's really pretty when it comes up. So they're also really easy to germinate. So if you're looking for something that's gonna give you a pop of color that's really easy to start, both of these are really easy to start right now. So peppers will take you a little bit longer. Tomatoes are still easy and quick to come up. But if you're gonna do some peppers, keep in mind that they take a little bit longer than your tomatoes. The last one that I want to show you is just a simple terracotta pot. If you follow me on my Instagram, my Schwartzberries were germinated in a terracotta pot. I put 7 seeds in and I had 3 germinate, and I did not expect them to grow that quickly. They have grown so big. I'm going to do another probably follow-up video to them just to kind of show the progress and tell a little bit more about them, because I'm so excited about them. But the one thing to keep in mind if you use a terracotta pot is trying to get the plant out of here is a little bit more of a challenge. So especially if the soil is just a little bit moist. So keep that in mind, that if you put something in a terracotta pot, that you need to be prepared to be able to get it out of here. I would recommend using a butter knife to scrape around the side, and make sure you do it when it's just a little bit drier, and then you can really soak the plant once you get it in the ground, and it should be completely fine. They'll bounce right back up really quickly once they get into a new full soil situation. So that's all I have today, guys, for seed starting tips and materials. As far as what I've learned this year and what I would recommend, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments about what we talked about today, let me know. Or if there's something that worked really well for you, or maybe if you've had better success with any one of these than I have, then please drop me a comment. I'd like to know how you're making some of these other materials work a little bit better, or if you've used something else entirely, I'd like to know how you were able to make that happen. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.